Round court now. Let's cross live to our reporter Zimkita Manqinana. Zimkita, a very good afternoon to you. I can see a very packed premises right outside the court. Do tell us, are the 13 suspects still appearing in court, and what is the latest from court?
Yes, Alicia, it's packed in the courtroom here at eNgcobo Magistrates Court. It's also packed outside the premises of the court. As you can see, those hundreds of residents who are holding on to the fence as they all want to come into the premises to see these suspects who are linked to the gruesome killing of 5 police officers and a retired soldier early last week. But the security is very, very tight here, Alicia. We're just going to get some views from locals why they had to come here as early as 8 a.m. this morning to be able to see, but they are not allowed to go inside court. But despite that, they are here waiting. Putting ngapha kweyadi kodwa nithi anizuhamba. Sithini isizathu senu soba niqhubekeke nihleli apha?
Unobangela siqhubekeke sihleli apha siswami, it's because of kukho sobona izinto ezilapha ngaphakathi, kukho abantu abamoshileyo apha eNgcobo, izimigulo kuthi. So that's why silapha.
Uma Nqoba izolo unyana wapha ucele uxolo ningabahlali nithini?
Hayi, asimxoleli. Makathuthe plus nalamzi wakhe okanye ufake ku-TLB uhambe kwawona athuthe mkepha.
Those are the views, Alicia, of locals here. As I mentioned earlier, that security is very, very tight. Only 30 people have been allowed in the court gallery. Even those 30 people were screened before they were given tickets, access tickets. It has not been the usual kind of way of making it through to court. We have seen the NIU unit also in force inside the premises of the court to ensure that everyone who will be in court today will be under tight security, as they are saying that the criminals, the alleged criminals in the matter, are suspected to be people who were heavily armed, so they don't want to take any chances.
All right, Zimkita, do you know if at this stage the state is opposing bail?
At this stage, we do not have details. Remember, we were told that this case will be at 2 p.m. this afternoon, but we have been waiting. It's now after 3 p.m., and we have not seen all the suspects. Earlier on, around 2, 4 suspects were brought into court, but later, those 4 suspects were then taken out of the court dock. We have not been given details why. We are still waiting inside court as journalists. And this case has attracted a lot of media interest. There's a number of media houses here to cover this case. As even the Minister of Police said when he was here, this is the first time such an incident has occurred. I think I can also mention, Alicia, that besides the incident that happened, a lot of people now are shifting their focus on the eNgcobo 7 Angels ministry, because this is the church that recently made headlines 2 years ago, and now they are saying that they are very shocked that the same church is linked now to the murder of those 5 police officers and the man that was gunned down next to his house.
Let's expand on that, Zimkita. I mean, we do know that, of course, the CRL Commission has even made it known to Parliament that they did raise the issues around the closure or the goings on at this church. Are there any latest developments in terms of whether or not this church is going to be shut down, a clear indication as to when they're actually going to shut it down?
When the media briefing was held after 7 people were arrested, 7 suspects were killed after a 30-minute gun battle between police and suspects on Friday evening. The Minister of Police said they want to collect every piece of evidence in the premises of the church, and then they will look into demolishing the structures that are in the church. But now, Alicia, if you can just look at the history of the church when it was in Mzimkhulu and still led by the late founder, Nqoba, the father of the 7 sons, when he was implicated to having sexually abused young children who were members of the church, and he later won that case. The community of eNgcobo then ordered them out of the area. Then they moved and started the church once again with the same congregants and more here at eNgcobo. So even though there's a promise from government that it's going to be demolished, we are not sure at this stage whether they will not go to another area and then start the church all over again. Remember, even the CRL commission chairperson, when we were talking to her, mentioned that the laws of this country are not clear on preventing such churches from mushrooming. So it looks like there are loopholes within the laws of South Africa preventing such incidents from carrying on. But this time around, because there is this murder case that involves the church leaders, and there's evidence that people were found there with the guns that were taken after the attack of the police. We don't know whether it's going to strengthen their case and then maybe lead to the church not operating anywhere else in the country.
All right, Zimkita, I understand we have very poor visuals, but let's try this one question before I let you go. Are you able to give us an update now on those that were rescued from the church, taken by social workers for counseling and so forth? What can you tell us in that regard?
The children that were taken to the rescue center are still at the rescue center. However, those who have families that have come forward, who want to take them and reunite with their families, have been released to their families, and even elderly people who were staying in the premises have been released to their families. So we are told that those young ones whose families have not been able to track them down are still there. Remember, Alicia, that there are also young children who are not known by their families. When they, maybe perhaps a mother and father joins the church, and then while they are staying there, they get a child, and because they are disconnected with their family members, then the extended family will not know whether those two have another child. So those are the children now that are being kept at the Social Development Protection Center.
All right, look, Zimkita, we keep hearing harrowing stories and tales of how the people were actually treated while they were inside this church. Are you able to just, maybe for the benefit of our viewers, give us some of those allegations against the church leaders?
Well, Alicia, there's a lot of stories that are going around here at eNgcobo and across the Eastern Cape about the practices of the church. But I think the only thing that we have proof of is that people were discouraged from attending school, and people who were forced to take their pensions, to sell their houses and donate the money to the church. This has been confirmed by one of the leaders, Banele Mangoba, the previous time we were there, because the congregants were told time and again that it is end of days, and they were even given 1,260 days left before Jesus returns. So they were encouraged to sell everything that they have and bring everything materialistic and their finances to the church, so that when the time comes for Jesus to return according to their belief, they know that they don't have anything outside the premises. So that is the only kind of proof that we have. In terms of the sexual abuse, it's just rumors at this stage, but the allegations that I think are advanced now this time around is that there were also gang members who were there, and also leaders of the church are part of the gang members. But it's up to this court to give us more details, Alicia, as investigations are continuing.
All right, and while we're staying with court, is there any indication, are you able to tell us the actual charges against the 13 suspects that are appearing in court, Zimkit?
Some of the suspects will be charged with attempted murder, and some will be charged with murder, and some will be charged with stolen, because there were weapons that were stolen. So they will also be charged with possessing illegal firearms, because the National Police Commissioner said that when they were searching the premises of the church, they also found dangerous weapons that had blood stains, which they were going to take for forensic investigations and see if there are no other cases that link these suspects.
All right, Zimkita will definitely touch base with you probably after the court case to hear what the probable outcome of that court process actually is. That is Zimkita Manqinana. She's joining us right outside the eNgcobo Magistrates Court there, where 13 suspects are appearing.